Guys, welcome back to another podcast of the Life of a Buzzed Hair Mama podcast. So eternally grateful for you guys to be joining us once again, and we're going to have fun this episode. I have recruited my comadre out Cali way because she's from the States. We basically met through this street parking program that I've been talking about in the past podcasts. And I've never looked back, and literally this comadre, this woman of mine, has been behind me 110%, and I've tried to do the same for her. So without further ado, this is Ruth, guys. Go ahead, Ruth, you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. And it is an honor actually to be asked to do this with you. I have to confess something I didn't want to tell you prior, that I heard all your other podcasts. So I did my homework and heard
Awesome.
all your 8 or 9
That's
that you have. So I know what you've been about.
yay. Awesome. That's
That's
amazing. And that's what it's all about. Literally, that's what it's all about. I want it to be something that can be, recorded and played in so many ways, and I thought what a better way to do this one by just kind of explaining to my audience that moms can be fit and they can live that lifestyle. And um the way you were introduced to street parking, let us know how that was introduced to you, or how it came to be.
okay, perfect. So for me, I was always working out, trying to find either gimmicks or, boot camps. I was doing everything on my own and attending those kind of things. But then my sister, who was the one that recruited me in, aka Mama Four, for in street
Hey.
parking, she had told me one day, she was like, you just need a little more, like someone that's really pushing you, which was weird because she would always wanted me to get a personal trainer. So you just need a personal trainer. And I was like, I don't want a personal
Yeah.
trainer. But then when she told me about street parking, I said, you know what? So for like, I think like 4 or 5 months, I did street parking through hers. So I'd go to her
Nice.
house. She would have it written down and I would do it. And after a while, she's like, Ruth, get your own. And I was like, you're right, because I began to realize that it was so much better for me to be able to do workouts that even though I was driving to her house, that I eventually was able to do in my home and start getting the dumbbells and the few things that I can do to get there. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you just need motivation, but sometimes it's just hard to leave the house. So I knew for me that
Yeah.
it was starting. I started feeling the results with just hanging out with my sister, doing it in her garage, and I want to be fit for my kids. Like we want longevity. I'm an older mom, so I knew that what can I do, whether it's sometimes with him running around me trying to do it, but just knowing that I love the community. And I
Good.
had it. Like I jumped on it.
Literally. Shout out to Ruth because she's seen me yell at my kids all the time.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, but honestly, your family's amazing because your husband's cheering us on. Your kids are
Yeah.
even sometimes cheering us on, or they're running in the street and you're saving them. But it's like
Exactly.
amazing.
Exactly. And I think, like, to echo what you just said, when I found out about street parking, I kind of looked at it like through the social medias, and I was looking at people who are doing it in my community around here in Canada. And I think I found two people that were doing it. And then I started doing
Okay.
like their shift workouts because I've
Yes.
always I've always considered CrossFit like a potential, I want to do it,
Yes.
I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
And then finally, when I saw them, I started doing the shift workouts, and I said, hey, you know what? Like, I like this. It's not
Yeah.
I'm running on a treadmill for like half an hour, or, just doing bicep curls or squats. Like, it's a full on program. And I have genuinely come to enjoy every aspect of it. And that's exactly what it is. It's a community, and I'm thankful, like, you reached out to me the one challenge, right? And you said, hey, you want to be my ride or die, like my teammate. I was like, for sure, like, hell yeah, let's do it. And in a way, because we're moms, we don't prioritize what we need to prioritize sometimes, and I feel like street parking has given us that freedom, that availability to do it. So Hell yeah to street parking. I'm so excited that, everybody's going to get to listen about it.
Yeah,
So
especially the flexibility, right? We get to
yeah,
choose, like, it's different body types. It's different people in business owners, CrossFit bodies, people going through surgery, coming back from having a baby or pregnant. Like the fact that they have all these resources to choose from and flexibility of movement, like, and still everyone's cheering each other on as though you lifted 500 pounds and the other one's lifting 10.
literally. Literally, you can be dying on the floor and they're like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's get up. Let's keep going. Keep doing it." Which is it's funny to me because you know how much I hate the burpees and I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Oh
Exactly.
man. How much would you say you invested in this whole program with your equipment and stuff?
Honestly, I don't feel like much because I think the treadmill I already had, and I think I got like for like 100 and something, and then the dumbbells I think I got for like $20. So I got the tens, 15s. I moved up to 20s is my highest in dumbbells. Then I was like, let me invest in a sandbag so that way I can up it up instead of buying more dumbbells, just up the weight on the sandbag. So, and that's about it. I have a yoga mat that I use when needed on floor things. Simple.
It's easy. Yeah, no, seriously. I started accumulating the dumbbells, I think once I started the 1 month program or like cuz they have the
Mhm.
different memberships, right?
Yes.
So I started
Yes.
off with the 1 month and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to invest in a pair of dumbbells. Then eventually I invested in another set. And then I invested in a sandbag. And you know what? All in
Yes.
all, it's super easy for somebody to start this program. That's what I think
Totally.
in the long run. And again, it's such a convenient program because you're a working mom too, right? So
Yep.
you need to find the time and the energy to do it, and sometimes it's just like, wow, these give us the availability to do it, and we feel great essentially after that. At least I think
Oh,
so.
yeah. No, totally. Like, because I'm thankful that, especially the length of time. Sometimes you think, I don't have the time. No workout is more than 30 minutes. None of them. Some of them
Literally.
get to 30, but like other than that, no, right? And if I don't want to do Mondays, I could do Wednesdays. If I don't do Wednesdays, like the flexibility of different things to choose, I could do it any day I want. The more than nothing, like there's some days that everyone knows, like I don't go, I have nothing to give, but I got 10 minutes. And if I can give those 10 minutes,
Exactly.
why not? And at the end, you never come
Exactly. But
out
girl,
regretting.
you are like, I've done the program, but I'm gonna go jujitsu. I'm gonna go Zumba. I'm gonna do all this other stuff too. So you are like the epitome of an active mom.
I feel like I have to for my own mental health, because when COVID happened, I happened had just started getting my own. Like I had already like couldn't even go to my sister's, right? So I
Right.
was
Right.
like, oh my gosh, I started the program on my own. So now with COVID happening, it was like boom. So then when now that we're free again, I was like pickleball and like you have more like this energy to do want to do more that I'm like when I feel like going clubbing since I'm older now I'm like I'll just go to Zumba, get my little wiggle on there
Yeah.
and go on a like hike. Like the day you told me, Ruth, you motivated me to go on a run. I'm like, well, I'm a competitive person, as you know. So then I was like, well, then I'm going on a run.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Literally
Yeah,
that day, I don't know what came over me, but
I
again, I
was so
think
proud of you.
thank you. I freaking killed that. And I was like, I'm not dying today. I'm not dying today.
No.
Like, and it's a whole mental thing. It truly is
Yes.
because when you put your mind to it and you know that obviously you're building up the strength with like the weight training and like the endurance programs that they have. Sometimes I don't do the best in them, but I know why now. And the weekend I was like, I'm gonna go kill myself running, but at least I'm gonna go do it. And I did it. So shout out to you because you do your miles like every other day, I think.
Amiga.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We kind of lost connection here.
Hey,
My
hey, hey.
fault. Sorry, Ruth. But my question to you
Yeah.
before that happened was, how much you invested in your equipment and things like that, and also how you're very active as a mom, and you find the time to actually work on yourself. Do you think that a lot of moms suffer mentally because they don't incorporate some sort of movement in their lifestyle?
I totally think that as moms and as women, we tend to put other things, especially our kids and our family, ahead, thinking that by us being there for these things that we're
Hmm.
helping. But I think at the end, when we don't take care of ourselves and not putting our, like, especially, it gives us the energy. And I come from a different, now I could do what I already need to do, but with more care for myself, with these endorphins running through my body and my hormones a little more controlled. That I think that because I'm spending the time for myself to go run or go do a run or go play pickleball, do street parking, that I'm able to be a better mom and a better wife with more patience and do the things that I need to
No
do.
Latina is patient. No Latina is patient. That's a fact.
I mean, tú sabes, we try. Try is the word, I guess.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
interview my
But I
husband.
do I do agree though. I do agree that it gives you that mentality of like what next? Like how can I move on after like I'm feeling great, like I need to be productive. Whether it be like taking your kids to school or just, going to work, simple thing of going to work. It's like I'm in a state of mind that I'm feeling great and I'm able to be the person that I am. Like that super mom that everybody wants us to be, I guess, to say. So
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look at even the things that you do,
it's
blows me away. Like, you're so resilient.
I think I had to start doing like the podcast though, because it was also another aspect in my mind that I wasn't working on. I was very like standoffish. I never really was able to tell my thoughts and how I was feeling. Even today, like today I went through some shit and I was like, I'm proud of myself. Like I've learned to overcome that fear of not being able to stick up for myself. Why? Because I think it's attributed to everything that comes with me working on my own self. And that's a fact. You were a young mom, right?
No, when I married. My husband came with two kids, so the our we had I had two step kids. They were 3 and 8 when they were in my life, and so this is now me at 44. Finally had my baby, my promise, because I had gone through losing three on my prior. And so I almost thought it
Yeah.
wasn't going to happen for me. So I like really related to your IVF stories and the things that you went through. I never tried that either, or I didn't try that part, but I almost thought I was almost closing that chapter. Like, I think I even had found street parking as like, I'm just going to work on my body. Like, I don't even care if I have a child now at this point, because maybe my blessing
Hmm.
was raising my stepkids kind of thing. And so then when I started street parking hard, I mean, if you see my picture, the one that's the main one, the profile
Yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah.
it's been before the baby, because
Oh,
I was
really?
like, yes. And then I got pregnant. So I almost feel like I think I even emailed street parking saying like, somehow when I released let go of the desire of the pressure of that, thinking it was over for me, and I just was like, let me focus on what I can focus on, which was my health and getting in shape and focus on that. It regulated my body to where then I had a baby. So I almost felt like I had to call it Miranda, or if it would have been a girl, or Julio, and if it would have been a boy, because it felt like their program helped me to conceive. And there I was at 44. Check this
What?
out though. 44 years old. I'm walking in 9 months, like already at the end of my pregnancy, and I'm so strong thanks to
Yeah,
street
yeah.
parking, right? That they would walk in and be like, "Aren't you done? Like, get this baby out of me!" I was enjoying it. That I was like, "Can we do this longer?" Because they were like, "You are so strong," and I was like, "It's street
No
parking," like,
kidding.
because that's the only reason that, to me, it was not. It was not. Yes. So when you lift your husband, when I heard that part, when you're like, "And I'm lifting my husband," I was like, "Girl, I was like 40, like supposed to be popped," and I'm like, "No, leave this baby inside. I can carry more weight."
I guarantee you, like, you'd be surprised how much our bodies can take. And even like after my hysterectomy, just walking was so painful for me at first. But I look back at it now, and when I came out of that operation, just to sit up, I was like, this doesn't hurt. And I'm like, okay, I can see where the training comes into play. So shout out to you, girl, because
Yes,
that's a huge indicator that we're doing something right.
for sure. We are, and I've learned to like ignore the scale, like, and I love like the,
Yes.
the podcasts and the research that comes
Yes.
with workouts. The things they say that I'm like,
I
yes,
think the
freedom,
scale,
like literally
yeah, the
freedom.
scale for me is a big, or I should say, was a big thing before, and I would attribute, my weight gain, and even when I saw the numbers on the scale, I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, now we're gonna go back to what am I doing wrong? What am I eating? What am I not drinking? The bad thing
Yes,
was when I was doing the weight or measuring my weight, I would stop eating. I would stop eating, and that's obviously, we know it's
yeah, same,
such a
girl,
no,
same,
right? Like we need to we need to prioritize everything we put into our bodies, even the good, the bad, the ugly. Like I love myself my harinas, I love myself my
exactly.
frijoles, like I'll eat it.
That's what
La
gusta.
pupusas, exactly. Like I'll eat it. I'll be okay. And then when I do the workout, I feel that it pushes me, like it gives me that strength, that that agility to actually finish those 10,000 burpees that we have to do in a WOD, or even that run, right? So I know it's still a big indicator for me. Like
For
my diet
sure.
is still not the greatest, so I can hear you on that whole measuring, your weight and all that fun stuff.
And I think, well, even for me though, I'm also thankful for the moments that street parking after I finish a WOD where I want to vomit. I'm like, I need to lay off the tacos. Like I need to stop eating those hot Cheetos. So I feel like in a way, like everything in moderation is where I'm at. Everything in
Yeah.
moderation. But when I'm doing those vaults with you, sometimes like, okay, shouldn't have ate that last night.
or or it'd be like the one time that I did an exercise with you, I think I had wine the day prior, and I was like, oh shit, I'm like sweating out the wine. I felt it so bad.
But you're the reason that sometimes you're even challenging me where I'm like, hey, let's get the 15s. You're like, no, I got my 20. I'm like, oh, okay, girl, we're doing the 20.
Yeah, yeah, and but now that I'm like 2 years into the program, I can say I feel comfortable saying that, where before I was like, "Holy
Yes.
I was scared shitless about the team workouts, I'm not gonna lie, because i- i-
Oh,
in a
yeah.
sense, you're like trying to be that fit person, but realistically, you're not all that conditioned. So those team workouts did scare me a little bit. You remember the ones we did last year that were, I think, were
Well, especially yes, we're picking and choosing which ones we even
yeah,
wanted.
that one. Yeah, that one.
But you know what? Like, I think the biggest thing for me that was a blessing in doing it with you was that, like, we both have the same of like take like when it was the waterfall ones, right? Where you would have to go and I'd have to wait until you
Yeah.
finished, and then I'd always feel like I don't want to hold
Yeah.
her up. Like, am I taking too long? How
Yeah,
embarrassing,
yeah.
But here we are turning each other like, si se puede, keep going. Or even the countdown, 19, 20, there, see you're done.
Oh man, yeah, no, I think that's the whole point of those team workouts too, right? To have that motivation, that incentive to
Yes.
actually get the badge. I tell you, when you tell me there's a badge now, I'm like, where is it? Like the one that was past February or something like that. I was like, I don't see it. Where the hell is it?
Yes. And I know it's so funny. That's why my husband says street parking is
Yeah.
a cult because he's like, wait a minute. You're doing all these things just so you can earn a badge? Yes. Wait, you're doing all these things so you can earn to buy the
Yeah.
shirt? Yes.
Yeah.
That is why
The
I'm
other
doing
day
it.
I was like looking at it because I got the 365 done with Ruth, I think like a week or something ago. And
Yes.
I put in for the tank. So I got the tank, and I don't okay, so my packages, I don't know why, but they go all the way to California. So I forgot to ask you that day. I was like, is it easier for me to send it to you and then you ship it out to me? But I don't know what shipping is, if that's the case.
Well, if it is, my husband gets a hookup, so whenever
Oh,
you do
shout
want
out
it,
to
let
your
me know.
husband. There you go.
Yeah, he gets a hookup with at his job, any shipping stuff. We pay a
Do
different
you find
amount.
that the packages are late though for you, or like the delay?
Yes, always.
I
Or maybe it's the anxiousness because we like fast food and everything's quick that we're like, when is my shirt coming?
when
I ordered it. Why is it? Amazon's like this.
right?
Why can't it be like
Right.
this?
So next time I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna be like, okay, I want.
But then maybe it's a good thing. There's so many cute stuff right now. Have you seen their this
I have
stuff on their
no, not
website?
yet. No, I haven't. It's too dangerous for me to look at.
Don't. I my girl, my sister and I say we need a side job for all the merch.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what's even funnier? The last video that Julian put out, he's like, the sponsor of this vault is SP because we have too much shit, like too much working out stuff or too much apparel. And I'm like, I'm dying laughing. I was like, I bet you do.
Yeah, I know. And I love how they're like, we're not an apparel company, but we always want their stuff.
Yeah, legit. 100%. 100%. Okay, so I
We want the stickers, everything.
yeah, and then that's it. The incentive, which is what I was gonna say, the incentives are what keep me going essentially, because when I started like this whole journey, I was all about like finding the membership, going to the gym, but realistically, my only reward was seeing, like you were mentioning, the numbers on the scale go down. But what in fact kept me going this time around, what literally was the fact that they see us for who we are. And no matter how far into your program it is, because I see like the Facebook threads, some people will put out like, you know what, this month is not for me, like I can't afford it. And there's like all these people paying for this random person's membership. So if that's not something that incentive,
Yes,
makes you start wanting to be a part of this community, I don't know what is.
I know exactly. And even for me, like I see that, and then I see even sometimes the like how someone else does like a box jump using something in their home for a piece of furniture that I also have. I'm like, I never thought of using that. So it's like I love watching the videos. That's why I have another Instagram page. I have my street parking one
Yeah.
because to me it's like I only want street parkers there for the most part. And I'm literally picking up tips or high five or saying, hey, great job, or oh wow, like or sometimes I'm proud of the girls that I see that like bigger than me, then I'm like, wait, you did what? And that gives me the like, then I can do it. And I love that
Facts.
that community where we're cheering each other on from different places in the world.
Facts. What do
You
you think
know,
about the street parking in Espanol?
I love that community. I was so thankful when it started because when I first started, they weren't there. So when it started coming, I'm like, yes. And sometimes I'm like, makes me want to post my videos more in
Yeah,
Spanish to be like,
girl,
I'm
do
with you
it.
guys. Si se
Do it.
puede.
That's why that you know what? The
I know, and I don't because I feel
the
I'm a pocha. So it's like my Spanish sometimes it's like
it's here hit or
they're like,
miss.
hablo español bien, pero
Yeah,
yeah, I'm like, me casé con un gringo, so
yeah, and I married a Portuguese man, but he's learning more Spanish than I am Portuguese. So
I know.
but Coach Roy has been honestly one of
He's
the
awesome though.
best influences out of the street parking program. I do think he's, kind of
Yeah.
not shouted out a lot more than obviously the other coaches. So shout out to Coach Roy
Yeah.
because él sí sabe lo que es
Yes.
perder
And
peso.
the professor. Yeah. No, and then who's the professor? I'm even looking him up.
Uh,
The other one. Have you talked to him much?
Edgar?
He always does the ones with the deep blue. Edgar.
Edgar. Yeah. Yeah, I Edgar
Yes.
and
Edgar Tamayo.
yes. Yes. And his lovely wife is
Yes. He's
they're adorable. I honestly,
yes.
if I was able to do that with
They're
my
beast.
husband, I would do it.
Same. Same.
they
I always try to tell my husband, like, "Do you want to do a quick WOD with me?" He's like, "No,
yeah,
I'll watch you."
right, and he'd be like, I'll do it, but I need to watch what you do first. But you know what? I'll give it time. I'm sure our husbands will start joining us eventually.
Yeah, he did for a little bit, kind of phased out, and then I'm hoping he'll come back. But he loves wearing the sweaters and the shirts, and I'm like,
Girl, I know. The fact that my 75 sweater was gone off my back, I was like, okay, that's fine, but I'm getting a new one.
right? Exactly. On For sure. But no, I love the Spanish community because I think the fact that it's in Mexico and all these other places in Latin America, anyways. Like it was nice to have that resource, you know, for them and for us. I would
Yeah.
even say, because sometimes I'm watching the videos and getting Roy's tips as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's so beneficial for somebody like Roy to be, and obviously Edgar, because they're both managing the page. I feel like both of them have the right charisma behind it, right? They're so dedicated to the fact that they're helping people, and in generating that community in itself. I do feel like we need to push that boundary a little bit more and get the people, like, I know I've seen a lot of people that habla hispana, de todas las comunidades. I know they're out there, and I know they messaged me and they're like, "I didn't know you were Spanish." I was like, "Yeah, I am." I'm like, "I'm in Canada, but I'm Spanish." I'm full out bilingual. I know it. I talk it.
Yo salvadoreña.
uh, I have actually met another Salvadorian, Jess. She's out in Arizona too. Um,
No
yeah, I
way.
think. Do you follow her? I don't know if you do.
I
She
don't
had her
know.
baby boy, not too obviously, he's like almost 1, but she literally, hands down, that's another girl,
Okay.
that's another mom I would like to shout out, because she literally put it down, like, had her kid. I think she also went through the IVF process, had her kid, said, "I'm going to take care of my
Mhm.
family lifestyle first, and then eventually come back into the street parking program." She's killing it too. Like, and that's what I honestly I want
Wow.
people to know, is that you're able to do this at all stages of motherhood. There's no right or wrong, place and
Yes.
time to do it. So, and like, like, I have my 2 boys. Alonzo, obviously, he's a little bit more timid, but Ezekiel is my shit disturber. He's the one that he'll come out with me, but he'll actually be like, "Mom."
Is it running in the
Yeah.
street?
He'll be like, "Mom, I'm gonna exercise, but I'm gonna go run across the street and come back while I don't get hit by a car."
Mhm. Exactly.
Eventually, our kids will
But
learn.
they're the greatest cheerleaders. And then our kids are watching it, right? How many quotes do we see that our kids, we're the example, right? And so we're showing our kids that we're putting our health and these things in our lives so that hopefully they also take that on because like I don't want my fam to end up with some of the health things that my family has, my dad is facing, for example, with diabetes and stuff. So
Yeah.
what am I going to do to break that and show him, like, look, we're gonna live a healthy, balanced life, but also working out and putting our health as a priority.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you find yourself, like, um suffering through your average cold a lot less, or do you find yourself that you're resistant to a lot of, like, like you said, diabetes or conditions in your family?
No, I feel like ever since, like, choosing my health more, I felt like I got every cold. Like I was like every time getting sick. The minute they're like it's cold season, Ruth had it. And I felt like finally, and if I do get it, when I get it, I'm like, before it was like laid out
Yeah.
princess style. My husband will tell you drama, couldn't move, like didn't want to do anything. And now I don't know if it's because I'm also being mom and also doing a shoe party that I'm like, please, okay, girl, I through COVID twice, I was
I
still
know
working
you were
out.
saying that.
I'm not addicted.
You were saying that. No, that last COVID that hit me, I was out. Like, I did not want to pick up anything at all. I just I don't understand why I'm like a magnet for that stupid thing. But like an average cold or an average,
Yeah.
like, flu season, I'm still out there. And that's the best remedy for your body, is to get that, pumping through your blood, so you can eventually, you know be healthier. And even with Even
Exactly.
with like my son's health, when we went through that instance where he was in the hospital, and I knew that I needed to be there for him. I feel like because my dedication in the workouts and the consistency in the workouts made me, want to be that stronger person for him. I feel like at that time I needed something to actually fall back on, and I found that when I was in the hospital, I was doing like the more than nothing workouts, like the equipment, no equipment workouts. So
Hmm.
I found that it helped me a lot, and again, attributing it to the
Hmm.
mental health.
Exactly. And on top of that, like being a older mom yet with my baby, my 2 year old, like when he doesn't require dad to carry him, but somehow he loves when I carry him. And I'm like, you are so blessed that I do street parking and I'm strong because I'm carrying him to the park or I'm carrying him around. Or sometimes even when I'm carrying my own groceries, as a woman, like, no, I don't need the basket. I can actually leave it right here and
Yeah,
carry
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, it makes me feel so like, yes, these workouts, you know what I mean? Like, thanks to these
Or changing
workouts.
the water filter in the office, like the big gallons of water. I'm like carrying it like this. I'm like farmer's carry.
Yes.
I'm like I'm carrying this shit all the way to the kitchen. And you know what's funny? Nobody asks me
No
to help.
joke. When I was I'm telling you. I recorded myself the first time I was able to do it because I was like, "Dang, I always had to wait for my husband or a man. Can you
Yeah,
help
yeah,
me?"
yeah. Yeah, it's like it teaches independence in a way too, right? Like we're finding out ways
Yeah.
how, or I guess you made a point last time that I talked to you. Um and you said it. I'm gonna look it up because you I liked what you said when I did that whole running thing.
Okay.
You mentioned to
Mhm.
me, you said we underestimate what we do in our training. I find that I do that
Yes.
a lot.
Because some movements, what, 30 seconds? Me too. So, like a friend of mine, she's right now, we're both, because I'm also going to do a half marathon in November.
Ooh.
And so I'm thinking, she's like, "Oh, how's your training going?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm only doing street parking, right?" So then she'll be like, "So on Sunday we went on a run. All right, let's go." And my big mouth says, "Let's do 6." That's why I do 1 mile. Let's do 6. But in my head, I'm like, I have not been running. This girl's been running. I'm doing sometimes 30-second taps,
Yeah.
10-minute workout or 20-minute workout. What is it going to do? And I did it
Yeah.
nonstop. And I'm like, I'm underestimating that. I'm thinking, what's this 10, 15, 20 minutes really
Yeah.
doing? Put it to the test and you'll see.
Exactly.
It's doing things for
When
your
you
body.
push yourself, you feel great afterwards. You're like, "Holy hell, like what? I don't know. I did not know that I had that in me."
Yes, exactly. Totally. And that's what I think I love about the program. It's like almost sneaky. Like it's almost like taking a vitamin, right? Like, what is it really, really doing? And then until you need it, you're like, I didn't even think I could do
Right?
that.
Yeah. I feel that way all the time. I feel like if there's ever a time that I miss like a workout for like 2 days straight, it messes me up. Completely messes me up. And then I find
Same.
that I'm trying to do the most heaviest workout like the next 4 days where I tire myself out. And I don't think that way that it's, going to tire me out. I just feel like because I missed the last two, I don't, I should make up for it, which I shouldn't be thinking like that. But
It's Yeah, no, and I think to me it's more FOMO. Like I'm like, oh man, like I can't, because for example, when I did get pregnant after being in street parking for the couple of months, and then I got pregnant, I'm like, I couldn't work out.
oh, really?
So I was high risk. So they were like, my doctor was like, no movement for you. So I had to like not see the freaking page because I was totally FOMO of like I can't work out. That was like the hardest. It was like telling me don't breathe,
Yeah. God, I feel
and
like,
I was like,
who
okay,
are you to tell me what to do?
I couldn't. Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to risk at that point after losing three or my four, I was like, no, I'll do whatever you say.
True.
Okay, I need to have this happen.
True.
But it was hard. It's like so when we are out because of an injury, because of an ankle or arm thing or whatever, and when I'm out, I'm like, wait. How about this though? in the midst of what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying. The people that are doing it would have like their arms on the thing or their foot, like they have a
Yeah.
wheelchair and they're still trying to make it
Oh yeah.
happen. I'm like, get out of here.
Oh man.
They hit up the coaches to be like, if I can't do
What
this,
can I
what
do?
can I do?
Yeah, yeah. No, I see that too. I see that all the time. I think that would be me. I'd be like broken foot and I'd be like, what am I
I'm
doing
like,
today?
yeah, yeah,
Oh man. I honestly I
totally,
just I
totally.
can't I I can't get over the fact that, I met you this way and um now sitting down with you and talking to you about, your lifestyle and understanding, that not only are you a mom to, all these precious human beings, but you're also a human being. And that's what I wanted to kind of, say in this podcast, that fit moms does not mean that you're going to be constantly running or you're constantly dieting or you're constantly thinking about, makes me look good. In a way, when you put that mental health to work, I feel like that's all you need. And street parking has just given us
Yeah,
that band-aid, that support in order for us to have that connection with our mental health. I see you, girl. Like, I see you when you do your workouts and I'm just like, oh my god, like this girl's working out. I'm like, meanwhile I'm eating my bag of chips or watching a movie with my kids. But it's working for you, and that's what it is, like, in
yeah,
this.
but it's all after I saw one of your videos.
And that's what, like, I literally want everybody to know that it's just that when you put the time and effort into something, you are going to surprise yourself in all aspects. And moms are one of the biggest, hardest jobs out there because we care for everybody else. So when we actually have time to fill our cup, like the episode that I put out, um, when we fill our cup and we actually work that up and we say, okay, you know what, I feel great today, I've done everything that I needed to do,
Yeah,
I'm able to be productive in my day. And you, girl, like I said, you're killing it over there that way, so I'm glad that you
oh
you
yeah,
you see that in yourself.
yeah. Oh yeah, like I felt like even when I go on like I'll be on the middle of a vacation. I went to go visit my friend up north, and I was like, that doesn't mean my workout stopped. So it's like I even insert it wherever I go because I don't have to have the dumbbells, or I'll ask my friends, what equipment do you have in your garage,
Yeah.
And so they'll be all sitting there drinking, and I'm like in the corner recording myself because I feel like I always post my
Right.
videos, and they're like, I can't believe you're working out right now. It's 10 minutes, it's 20 minutes, or I'll go on a quick run, yeah, and
Yeah.
like it's just such a thing that I'm even shocked that I'm saying I love it that much. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you find something that works for you, that's it. Like, that's me. That's 100% me. If I have to find
Yes.
centavos on the street to make my street parking subscription, you best believe I'm gonna be doing it that way. Oh man.
The things we do for a badge,
Oh
girl.
yeah. No, that's definitely something that I to this day, I've never in my entire life put so much consistency and effort into something than I have with the street parking.
Correct.
So we'll
Yes.
we'll be
And
60.
well, did you ever check out one of their podcasts?
I I I've Okay, so the vault where everybody was doing it, like the street parking members were doing the vaults, um, and Miranda was doing the
Uh-huh.
podcasts with all the members of the street parking family. I listened to a couple of those. Some of those were hardcore. Like, I
Okay.
don't remember the lady's name, but her son, I think, passed away. Um, and they, to this day, they do
Oh
something for
yeah.
him. I apologize. I don't know exactly her what exactly happened, but I do remember her podcast, and I was just taken
Yeah.
back because, even though she lost one of her loves of her life, she still continued on and she persevered through that trauma. And I think that's one of the biggest things Miranda wants in
Mhm.
the
Exactly.
podcast to know, that, anything you're dealing with, anything you're going through, you can still persevere and get through it.
Exactly. I know that's what I think I appreciate the most is Miranda's transparency and vulnerability, and even sharing the things that she goes through. Then because sometimes we look at these like amazing bodies or these amazing people, and we just think like they don't go through things that we go through,
Yeah.
or the challenges that we think, or they're, but they do. And so when she shares some of those places, or when we hear from different street parking people, or some of the videos of some of the other girls on how they lost and how they gained, and I'm just like, they're even like, thank you for resharing it. I'm like, I had to reshare. It was inspiring to me,
Oh
and
yeah.
whoever's on my page, I wanted them to see it as well. It's like you see the fruits of all that,
Yeah. Yeah. And even do you follow Deborah on street parking? I'm When I followed her, she was street parking at 63 or something like that. Um but she is goals. She's the one that you see posting every single day, getting her mom to do certain exercises, and she's getting the Amazon drivers to do pull-ups
Yes.
with her.
Yes. And the cold plunges.
Yes. So that's something that, because I see you do it too. So that's something I'm going to do this summer. I'm going to see if I can invest in something to do the cold plunges.
Have you looked into all the health benefits from it?
I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just scaring myself realistically and not, expecting the worst and just not biting the bullet and doing it. But what have you seen? What benefits have you seen?
Okay. I'm going to tell you that I think I've seen the most results because sometimes I'll do it right after a street parking workout. So I'm already hot. So that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
helps me. But I'll be honest, the first time I did it was by myself. And so I'm not going to lie, it took me forever just to get in. So I was just like, oh my gosh, it's too cold. And I finally got in and I start the timer, right? The second time I did it, I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it. This time I did it with my son. And he was over and I had teased, and I didn't think he would do it. I'm like, he's 24 years old, whatever, he's all strong, whatever. And he's walking around. I'm like, hey, you down to plunge with me? He goes, yeah, I'll jump in. I'm like, wait, you're gonna jump in? He goes, yeah, I'd rather get all in it, let the timer start. So I was like, oh no. So that means I couldn't babysit the like little by little baby steps getting in there. So I was like, okay, just give me a second because I'm not gonna jump in. So let me get a jumping start. And so once I got in and then I finally was in there, he was helping me to calm my breath because I'm very because you're really trying to catch. I was really trying to catch my breath, and
Okay.
that's that I didn't even jump in.
Okay.
And so when he was talking to me, he just said, just breathe. It's all in your brain. And I was like, you're right. And ever since I did the cold plunge with him, I'm faster
Oh, are
and I'm
you?
faster. And some crazy thing too is that when it's cold outside, everyone's like, and I'm a little cold, don't get me wrong. I'm like, not that cold. So it's like, but I've already felt the differences on my pants. All of them. I don't want to get rid of them yet because I don't want to buy the next size yet. But I need
Oh
belts.
man, you know what
I
though?
need a belt because I could literally feel.
I
Yeah.
was noticing that the last time when we did the exercise, I was like, "You slimmed down, girl. Like I'm proud of you."
Yes, I think it's like literally, I almost want to trip. Like, I don't know if it's chiseling in the water or the freezing because your muscles are tightening up and you're like, in there where it even hurts to move your fingers in the water. And I'm just like, breathe. Where now I literally did it the other day and I set the timer for 2 minutes. I stayed a little longer.
Wow.
I was like, I could stay longer. And I stayed in a little longer than I finally got out. I was shocked, but I could feel the difference on my
Hell
body
yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Plus, if I feel like injuries, like lately, I've been doing more because dumbbell
Yeah.
April, right? And you making me use my 20s more, and my sister use your 20s. You're done with the 15s. And she's in my head too. So I'm in there, and as I'm putting my hands, I think it's helping like almost ice it, and my legs were also like ankles. I feel like it's taking away
There you
pain
go.
that I was like, from the work that I do, recovery at the same time.
You know what though? You make a good point because inflammation is a big thing. Because when you work out, you expand the muscle, right? And that's why they say take your protein or drink your protein right after, whatever it is. I'd take it after, but um I do feel
Yes.
though after that run on the weekend that I didn't have that like acidy feeling where my muscles were sore. So I do think that I can benefit a lot from the cold plunge. So I mean, the weather's changing. It's no more snow out in Canada, so we'll do it.
It so won't be too hard. Yeah, just get a little kiddie pool.
Yeah, yeah. Dump the ice in there and just lay there and be like, okay, count it.
Yes, pound it, freeze it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's worth it. I really think it's worth it. I'm noticing it for myself. I was like, whoa. Now I just need to tighten my nutrition up a little better at moments,
yeah.
but
That's gonna come. That's gonna come.
gotta let
Literally, with time,
them down.
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, there's moments where I feel like I'll do like an intermittent fasting for a while, and then, or sometimes I'm a little more keto, but like I don't want to fully commit to anybody. One of those.
Yeah, no, I do get that. I think the fasting for me worked a little bit, but then like down the line, you gain it back quickly. That's what me, at least.
I know. I think we just have to find what works.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, comadre. If there's one thing you want to tell the moms out there that are looking for inspiration and motivation to move their butt off the couch or move behind their child, what is it? Let them know.
They need to do street parking, and they need to follow me and you and realize that it's possible. And if they need a cheerleader, we're there. But that time goes, but you can make improvements in your life and insert what you can. And any little movement is just going to help you mentally, physically, spiritually, just to be a better, stronger for longevity. Like, for longevity right now is what my train of thought is.
Yeah.
And I think any mom can do it. You just have to be willing and realize that it, like, a lot of us are doing it.
Oh yeah.
Enough of the excuses, and let's get up and do it.
Big thing. That's the big thing. You said excuses.
With it.
You need to get rid of the excuses and just start doing it and start pushing yourself to the limits that you want to be pushed, and you will reap the benefits in the end. I honestly, I like I said, would not have
Yeah.
done this without you. Literally, I haven't looked back. And if there's anybody out there that's going to listen to this podcast and want that motivation, like, I can definitely show you on the Instagrams what we do in a daily WOD if need be. But there is a community out there of moms that want every other mom to succeed in life. So
Yes.
that is my biggest message as well, that we are able and capable of doing it. Comadre, I love
Yeah.
you. I thank you
Yeah.
for being on the podcast today.
Okay.
I don't know any other
For
way
sure.
any other way to share this, but obviously transmit it through this podcast. And if you are a brand new subscriber, you can hit me up on the Spotify with the Life of a Buzzed Hair Mama podcast, or on the Instagram, look me up at Life of Buzzed Hair podcast. And we are basically growing this community. We're sharing all these inspiring stories like Ruth's. Ruth is just one of the best people that has come into my life. Thank you again, girl. I will see you soon. We will be programming something soon.
Yes, we are.
And
I know. You're my Canada sister, the Salvadoreña. We got this. We're going to bound to meet
por ahí te caigo un
and do
día.
a walk together. Sí, please. Mi casa es tu casa.
Gracias, gracias. Okay, with that being said, guys, we love you. Take care. Till the next one. Have a great night.
Yes.